Hello, this is Steve from Beaute's Leatherworks. Today's project is my favorite shoes. One of my favorite shoes. This is the Golden Harvest model. Now, sometimes the manufacturer gives it a tint of, it's like a patina. They finish it with a little bit of darker shades. This particular one, we're going to remove everything from the bottom. We're going to strip the uppers. We're going to re-dye them that mustardy tone. New welts, midsoles, JR soles, dovetail heels, triumph tips, what else? Leather heel base, new insoles. I think that's about it. And there's not much left of the shoe after that, so we'll make it look brand new again. All right, let's get started. All righty, let's get started. Man, these have been reheeled before. Cat's paw heels, they're classic. I beat the birds in today. They're not awake yet. I'll let you guys listen to them when they wake up. Sometimes they beat me and sometimes I beat them. It's just a matter of just cutting the soles and taking them off. Now lately I've been covering the shanks with leather. I think it's given it a much sturdier constructed base. These do have a metal shank with a fiberboard, but we're going to put metal shank. We're going to put a beefier metal shank and cover it with leather. And the front part, right here, right front part here, will be cork. I'll show you guys when we get there. Basically, what we're going to focus on right now is just removing everything and then taking the welt off and then cleaning the uppers and re-dyeing them. All right, let's continue. If you look here, see how the color is light? That's the beginning color, and then the manufacturer tints them down. Some of them are tinted down, not all of them. Some of them are nice and bright mustard color when you leave the manufacturer. This is just one of the ways that they finish it. Let's continue. Now once we got the uppers removed, we thoroughly clean the uppers. Remove all that top surface and the patina on there. This is tedious, but you know what? It's got to be done. If we want to apply another coat of dye to it, you've got to prep the surface. Now, I already cleaned the surface of this. It's getting lighter, as you can tell. But now we got to go with a Q-tip and to get into the nooks and crannies. What I'm using here is a deglazing fluid. Basically just kind of takes that surface finish off of leather. You get to go through a lot of Q-tips with this type of work. Again, tedious, but necessary. Now once we got the uppers apart, you can go through, make sure the lining is okay, you know, check structural issues there, okay? Make sure the stitching is good and everything is complete, you know? If there's any issues, it needs to be taken care of now while it's all apart. Now we go, I don't do jobs like this with every pair, but major restoration like this, yes. This was over a $950 job, so when the job gets done, we expect it to be like a brand new pair of shoes to give back to the customer. Nothing but the best will do. No cutting corners, period. I think I hear some birds outside. Yep, it's almost that time. All right, let's continue. Now this is the footbed, okay? Surprisingly, it's in pretty good shape. We're going to keep this one. We cleaned up that surface a little bit. We're going to wet this down to kind of flatten that, smooth that out a bit. Doesn't have that much of an indentation from the toes and the ball of the foot, but the rest of it seems to be in pretty good shape, so we'll salvage what we can. I put that back together. I'm going to put new gemming on there. The gemming is this piece right here. That canvas that the welt and the uppers are stitched to. We'll put a new piece there. All right, let's continue. I'm going to take a little bit of Saphir Creme. This is number 19 Fawn. Just to kind of tint it down just a little bit, because that mustard shade is awfully bright. Believe it or not, a little bit of cream will tone that down just slightly. You don't want to cake it on there. Get rid of this last one here. We've got our footbed gemming, everything glued together. Before I put the gemming on, the footbed in, I clean and condition the lining inside. Also condition the footbed. And there's a lot of details that go into projects that I do. I mean, some people see the bling on the surface, you know, and they don't realize that there's a lot of details, structural details, that I put in my work. I don't show every little thing, but all right, so we're getting there. Next is stitching the welt on. All right, let's continue. She looks really good. All right, let's continue. So we are stitching the welt on the shoe. Now, if you notice, I put a piece of material right here. Now, over time of wearing the shoe, sometimes this gemming comes loose, right? This gemming is glued to the footbed. When that gemming comes loose, it changes the shape of the shoe. This material here bridges that gap together and keeps everything snug. It's just a little bit of structural issue that I put those together so it will last for many, many years to come. Okay. Now, if you notice here, we've got holes onto the uppers. Okay, those are the welt, original welt holes. And what we're doing, we are following those. Okay. Sticking the needle through. It's got a hook at the end. See that hook there? Okay. Put the thread on the hook, pull it through, loop it, run the other thread through, and pull it back. Now I've got my pinky here covered leather because that will certainly damage your skin if you pull the thread without it. And on this side here, I wrap it around my handle and I give it a nice tug. Not too hard, but enough to tighten things up. I continue that throughout the whole shoe. And when you finish, give a really nice, cool look. This is called a split welt. Split welt has that piece vertical that hugs the uppers. Okay? The regular welt doesn't have that, just that little leather piece. All right. And that, my friend, is how we attach a welt to the shoe. Not difficult, but I have seen some nightmares that people have done before. It's just a matter of paying attention to what you're doing and practicing and practicing and practicing until you get it right. And I've done a few of these to know what to do. But I mean, I always learn. There's always room to learn. We never stop learning. All right, let's continue. That's important right there, where the joint is, where the beginning of the end of the welt come together. So I overlap them maybe about 3/4 of an inch. So it's a seamless look when it gets done. A lot of manufacturers don't pay attention to that, and it looks bulky and there's gaps there. But not I, said the man who put the joints together. She is good to go, man. As solid as can get. All right, let's continue. Okay. Because I have the camera on. These are the heel bases, okay? Now, sometimes, over time, these two leather layers tend to come loose at times, no matter how well we glue it. You know, with the movement of wearing it. It does, sometimes it tends to start separating. Well, we want to try to avoid that. How do we do that? Even though we nail the heel bases from the inside of the shoe, which I'll show you guys a little later, together. This is basically securing the two layers together. Of course, I bend a nail when I'm recording. Hey man, how you gonna leave that bent nail like that? You gotta take it out, don't leave it like that. I'm out of here, that's it. As I was saying, this nail secures it together. It's a very small nail, but it does its let's try it again. It does its job. All right. Another structural support that you cannot see. Let's continue. You all know what time it is. It's hammer time. No, earlier it didn't count as hammer time. This is what counts. You like, by the way? Looks good, eh? I love these colors. Earlier wasn't really hammer time. Now it's hammer time. Serious hammer time. Make sure that's in the center. As center as they can get. Okay. Oh, that fabric was, this is a piece of fabric basically I put in between the leather sole and the shoe and the midsole. Now what we have here is called a French tip. Also, this is called a Triumph tip, which is the name of it. Now there's several different types of French tips. This is called the Lulu tip, which, you know, they all go at the tip right there, and this comes in different sizes. Now this one, the Triumph, comes in two kinds. This is brass plated, steel basically, painted to be, you know, gold to look like brass. This is solid brass. Now the difference in the thickness is this is twice as thick as this one. Okay, I don't really advise this thick one on thinner soles, but when we have such a thicker sole like a midsole double oak sole like this, I think this looks very cool with that thickness of a sole. Now, fourth option, this is basically a brass sheet that I make out to whatever I want it to be. These are the brass sheets, and we can cut them to any custom size. I should say any custom pattern that we want. This particular one is like a wingtip. Then we can cut it down, drill the holes, and make the French tip into a custom-made tip. One costs more than the other, obviously, because that's more work. You have to make it to fit the shoe. So we're going to use this one. Okay, let's continue. So what's the significance of this date? Or really nothing. It's the date is irrelevant. It's why I did what I did. So last week I was a little emotional mess because I came across something that reminded me of my dad. So he used to put the dates on his soles of when he did it. And he passed away in 91, January of 91. So this was the last few months. He wasn't working as much, so this is one of the last pairs that he had done. The customer brought it in so I could redo it. And once I took the heel off, I knew it was my dad's work. So this was in 1990, okay, 5/15/1990. And today is 5/10/2021. So as you can see, that was a long time ago. Now I don't put dates on my soles. That's not necessary because I know my own work. We've got a point of sale system that we can, you know, track down when it was done, what we did to it, who's the customer, and so forth. Now the reason he did that is because he didn't speak English, right? When we first came to this country, you know, not too many people knew English. My family, that is. We knew a few words here and there, but not my dad. You know, my dad was old school. My dad didn't really have an education. He, as a young age, as a young boy, he started working in the hills just to make some money for the family. So when he came to the States, he opened up the little shoe repair shop. You know, some customers would take advantage of the situation that he didn't speak English. He couldn't defend himself. They would say that, oh, this was done, you know, 6 months ago or you know, a year ago, and the sole's wearing out. He says, okay, I want to teach you guys something, you know. So he started putting the dates on the soles. Now, that can be kind of, you know, prove it or not prove it, how long it wore, but still he had something to show that when it was done. So that was the only reason that he was doing that, just to kind of defend his work, because he couldn't do it speaking English to defend himself. So he had to do it with other ways where, you know, where we show that that was the date that he did the work. So anyway, so I did that today just to kind of have a little memory 31 years later, you know, of the same shoe comes to mind. It wasn't this shoe. No. Don't get me wrong. That was another shoe that came in. This is totally different. And I understand now that, you know, as I'm speaking, it sounds like this was the shoe. This was not the shoe. It was another shoe. just that came in with the date on it. That's all it was. It was a different job completely. Now I've saved some in the past. So the dates that he wrote on a piece of paper, sometimes he would write it on the sole of the heel, on the sole of the leather. So a couple of repair jobs that has come back to me, and I saved it throughout the years. Those I'm not going to get rid of. They're sitting in a little showcase with his tools and everything else. So that's the explanation for me putting the date on there. All right, let's continue. All right, got the heels on. Now, we don't want to nail from the top to go all the way in to cinch it on the footbed, because we want that to be nice and clean. I mean, this isn't done yet, but I'm going to put some brass nails here. The brass nails are going to be there just for looks, that's it. So once we glued everything back in, the heel breast nice and clean, finished, we're going to nail it with threaded nails. Or some people call these ring shank nails. Whatever you want to call them. Like that. I'm going to go all the way around. Like that. Okay. This is basically what it's doing. It's securing the heel base to the footbed. And these are like iron, man. I mean, these nails are really tough. They don't usually come off very easily. Once these are on there, I'd hate to be the one taking it apart. Oh, this is a tack hammer, because I can't get inside the shoe with my other hammer. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. Well, we are almost at the last leg of our project. Nice project. I love projects like this. Guy's going to be thrilled. I'm going to try to get his reaction. I'm going to try to. Let me see if I can make it work. Here's the insole, sock liner, whatever you want to call it. We put some pad there. We're going to sand this down a little bit to 0, so it kind of gradually goes up. There's no hump there. And we'll glue it in and cover all that stuff up. All right, let's continue. Now, all my information is on Beaute's Leatherworks main page on YouTube. All you have to do is click About, and there it is. Email, address, phone number. And if you want merchandise, go to the store button right there. Click on that, and you're welcome to buy anything you like. If you have items that needs to be shipped in, it's right here. Shipping form. Click onto that. And there's your form. Fill it out, send it with your item, and I'll contact you once I get it in. And while you're here, click on the subscribe button. We'd greatly appreciate it. That really does help, and give us a thumbs up while you're at it. Thank you very much. Take care. All right, welcome back. We are done with another project. We also put brass eyelets on there. Solid brass. I think they turn out good. Beautiful shoes. There's another one down here that I got done last week. This is with the blue sole. Yeah, enough of that one. It's not fair. We are working on this one, the videos for this one. All right, well, thank you for joining me again. I really appreciate it. I forgot to mention one more thing. The shoehorn. This is a gift from me to the customer. Nice baroguing to match the same pattern as the shoe. Isn't that cool? All right. You know, I don't say it often enough how I appreciate you guys for watching my videos and leaving me comments, and I do read them. 9 out of 10 I read them, and if I read it, I'll put a thumbs up with the little heart. Sometimes I may miss one or two, but majority of the time I do see them, and I respond back. Now, if you guys have any questions, just email me at bitos@yahoo.com. Now, if I haven't responded to your email, it's possible it went to junk or spam. Just resend it. If you really need something that you haven't gotten a hold of me, just give me a call. You know, I just showed you all the information in my shop. Hours, the address, the phone number. I mean, I'm here from Tuesday to Saturday. So if you guys want to reach out, you know, you're welcome to any time. All right, I think that's it. So I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you guys on the next project. Take care.
Action! My name's Mike, and one day, a little over 2 years ago, I was watching Steve restore a pair of Florsheim Golden Harvest shoes, and I loved them so much, I decided to find me a pair and have him restore them for me. So after 2 years, I located a pair of shoes, set them off, and be restored, and now they are here. So let's open them.
Okay, the big reveal. Looks exciting. They're not even my shoes.
Yes, I have waited and looked and
I think I should get new shoes too. Okay, are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Are you sure? Maybe we should wait.
Okay. No, I think I've waited 2 years for this. Wow.
Are you gonna cry?
I don't think I'm gonna cry. Look at that.
I might cry. Those are beautiful.
That is really nice.
We're coming up on 2 minutes.
Very nice. That's one. Look at that.
Wow. That's something. It makes me want to get a pair.
Let's get the other one out here.
Let's make sure there's a second one. Oh. I think it's the other shoe. The other shoe is about to drop. Sorry.
You made me a shoehorn. Got my initials on it.
Wow. Now that's super cool. That is very cool.
That is very nice, yes.
What's his name?
Steve.
Steve. Wow. Those are awesome.
I like them. I really do.
They're beautiful. The workmanship is fantastic.
Very nice.
They look
yes.
brand new.
So
they
if
look
you
better
want
than brand new.
If you're interested in having any kind of leather work done, this is the man to do it. Thank you very much, Steve.
God bless.
God bless. Okay.